All right, welcome to the Eric J. the Great podcast show. Got a special guest on the show today, Miss Ann Wooten. How you doing?
I'm fine. You can just call me Ann.
Okay. So for anybody out there that's gonna listen to this episode, it's gonna be a beneficial episode for anybody that's interested. She's a CEO and founder of Eating as an Act of Worship Ministries, and she's also an author too. So I will give her a chance to just explain about a little bit what we do, what she does, and then I will get into the questions. Oh, you heard me?
I didn't hear anything. It just stopped. Everything froze, and now it's back.
Oh,
When you heard me.
oh. Now I was saying that you're a CEO and founder of Eating as an Act of Worship Ministries, and you're an author as well. So I give you a chance to just speak about a little bit of what you do on a daily basis, and then I get into the questions.
Okay, very good. So you want me to do it now?
Yeah, 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 yeah,
I'm sorry. When everything froze, it threw me off. But thank you for having me, Eric. It's a pleasure to talk to you again. I'm Ann Wooten Taylor. I'm the CEO of Eating as an Act of Worship Ministries, which is a nonprofit organization. We teach the biblical principles about the body, dieting, exercising, and maintaining a healthy body for the glory of God. We do that primarily through our 12-week health and fitness course, which um, this is, yeah, year number 11. We celebrated our 10-year anniversary last year. So this will be year number 11 for the 12-week course, and we're looking forward to having a really good class. And that's why I'm here, so I can talk to your listeners about it and they can get signed up so they can get healthy and fit with us.
absolutely. Yeah, fitness is very important. You go to other countries. I've been to 8 different countries, and then when I go to other countries, and I don't see a lot of big people, and they have a lot of more organic foods. Some restaurants don't even sell larges. You only can get a small and a medium.
Exactly. America is different. We are basically the proponents or creators of the quote unquote Western diet that started a while like in the 1850s when the Industrial Revolution began. And so, because of that, we've got the worst eating habits
Hmm.
on the planet. But not only that, we have been passing those eating habits along to those that we partner with. So as we have started to get to be the fattest on the planet, then you got other nations following suit behind us. And so everybody is now getting bigger and bigger and bigger. It's an epidemic worldwide. So at the same time that we have this hunger epidemic where people are starving on the planet, we also have an obesity epidemic, believe it or not.
Okay. So first off, what is Eating as an Act of Worship Ministries?
Well, I know that's a long name. It's a mouthful to say, but you know exactly what you're getting into when you come to us. Eating as an Act of Worship Ministries basically was born out of the fact that I was significantly overweight for about a decade and I couldn't stop. And so I did what I always do when I don't know how to get myself out of trouble. I prayed. And then the Lord started teaching me the biblical principles that were basically not non-existent in my life. I didn't know them, so I wasn't applying them. And so I lost, wow, 130 something pounds. And so after that, the Lord decided that it was time for me to teach other people how to do it, which I will be honest, I didn't want to do, but it's been a blessing as I put pen to paper, wrote the books, started the core curriculum, teaching other people what God's taught me. hear and see the results. Seeing somebody in class over time lose 100 pounds, people coming off medications. It's just a wonderful thing to see. It's a blessing to see. So we're looking forward to being able to help more people all over the globe, because we have people who take our course from everywhere. Even people in Africa have taken our course. So it's been a blessing.
Okay. So how did the ministry begin?
Well, it began because I couldn't stop myself from eating. And so after I prayed, it seemed like everywhere I went, when I went to church, even vacation Bible school, the sermons, the lesson, the Bible study would always have to do with my relationship with food. Other people would hear, them talking about, say, being an alcoholic or, cheating on their spouse. But for me, the Holy Spirit always applied that sermon, that Bible scripture, whatever we were studying, to my relationship with food, and how I was basically sinning because of the way I didn't take care of my body, because of the way I ate and looked at food as an idol. So I had to first learn those principles myself. And then after I learned them, he made me start teaching. Well, he made me write a book first and then start teaching other people what he taught me. So that's how the Eating as an Act of Worship Ministries classes came into being. In the fall, it was fall of September 2012 when we had our first class. And it was funny because we had it in the Capitol Rotunda here in Little Rock. So can you imagine us having a Christian class at the Capitol building? We did that.
Oh yeah. I know that was culture shock for people.
Well, it's funny. Our ministry is, I thank God for the way that he's done it. We haven't been one of those, inside the four walls of the church ministries. Like I said, we had the first class at the Capitol Rotunda. After that, we had classes at a local high school, then at a local college. And we have had them at churches too, but we also use the internet. And then after that, we were blessed with a radio show. And the funny thing is, it wasn't a Christian radio station that we had the show on. Our show is syndicated on two Christian radio stations, but Studio W Buzz is a secular station. And for like 6 years, we were the #1 show on Studio W Buzz. And, that's nothing but a miracle. You got people come to listen to hip hop and R&B, but they stay tuned in locked on a Saturday morning at 11 o'clock for a Christian health and fitness show. That just goes to show you how much is needed. And how it doesn't matter what your walk of life is. There's something here for you. You don't necessarily have to be a Christian in order for these principles to work in your life.
Absolutely. So what people can expect from this fitness course, this 12-week fitness course?
Well, I'm glad you asked, because that's kind of a good segue from what we were just talking about. A lot of people, when they think of a Christian health and fitness class, they think of going, to work out, and you get together, you say a prayer, you got the Christian music on, and then you get sweating together. We're not like that. You can expect something completely different when you come to our class. It's basically you putting in the work. The first thing you're going to do is need to order your workbook. Yeah. That's why I said you got work to do. So you need to get your Eating as an Act of Worship workbook. You can get it online at Barnes & Noble or Amazon.com. And in that book, basically, you're going to go on your own spiritual journey. You're going to read for yourself what the Word of God has to say about health, about fitness, about your body, about exercising, about, who you really are in relation to food and in relation to the one who created you. And not only that, we try to balance the scriptural teachings with practical examples. So we give you a lot of information about how to eat as an act of worship. And that's kind of one of my issues with, the church as we know it. we tell people a lot of things that God says to do, but you don't tell people how to implement a strategy in their lives so that they can get it done. And that's one of the reasons why this class is 12 weeks. On the one hand, you'll hear about all these different fad diets and try to do it, but this isn't a fad. You've got to know why you need to eat as an act of worship before you can be taught how to eat as an act of worship, and then be able to do it for the rest of your life. So that's the whole process. You learn, first of all, um, what your body is, in relation to the spiritual, and how you're supposed to be dealing with food in regard to that relationship, and then how to implement that. And on top of that, we give you a lot of different ideas about what you can eat. I have been the guinea pig to try out this stuff, me and my family. So I promise you, I'm not going to introduce you to anything that I personally don't like or somebody in my household doesn't like. So if we were doing it in person the way that we normally would before COVID happened, you would even get those free items. So we would bring in food for you to try as a group, and it would be totally free. And for those who complete their lessons, we would bring back their favorite snacks and let them choose what they wanted from what we've tried before, and then introduce something new to everybody else in the group. So that's what you can expect from the course. And it's not just you reading the Bible. A lot of this is you reading yourself. Is very introspective. I say that because we had a therapist from Louisiana who took our class a few years back, and she said, she had a lot of people come to her about their weight in the past. She said, and most people don't put in the work that you have to put in that so early in the game as you do with our books. As a matter of fact, she was able to use the class as part of her continuing education as a therapist when she brought it up to her board certification member. So it's that deep. You're gonna have to do some work inside and out. Put it that way.
Okay. So y'all do the course in person and online?
We were doing the course in person. We may start going back to in-person classes in 2024. We have been really careful about doing it online these last few years because so many people who come to us have underlying conditions. We have people with diabetes. We have people, who have congestive heart failure or a history of it, people with high blood pressure, that type of thing. And of course, they're overweight. And all of those are, just some of the risk factors for having bad outcomes with COVID-19. So we take our calling seriously as a health and fitness organization, and so we're not gonna ask you, to come and put your life in jeopardy when that God has provided another medium for us to give you the information and you to take that and run with it. So that's why we're still doing it online right now. Hopefully, if it's the Lord's will, we'll be able to go back to doing it in person as well as online next year.
Okay. And is it a cost associated with this? Do they have to pay for it?
Our class is free. I know, right? It's free. I'll say it again just so you can understand. FREE, free. You don't have to pay any membership fees. You don't have to pay any registration fees. The only fee associated with the class is the cost of your book. And this is the book you need, the Eating as an Act of Worship workbook. Now, there is a second book. You don't have to purchase this book for the class. A lot of people who've taken the class, especially those who've taken it more than once, purchase this. This is a teacher's edition of the book. Basically, this allows you to be able to do the course on your own or to form your own groups in your local area. It also is very good for explaining the lesson that you have completed, meaning don't cheat, do the work yourself, and then you can, after you're done with it, you can read the teacher's edition because it's going to explain the lesson, and of course it has the answers in it because it's meant for the person who's going to facilitate the class or teach the class, or somebody who's doing it on their own. So we want to make sure that you know that you don't necessarily have to purchase the teacher's edition, but we do have a lot of people in our class who buy it because our classes time is limited to like an hour, 15 minutes usually. Sometimes we run a little longer, and that's because we have an hour for class, and then we of course do our featured item to help you um, um, on your health and fitness journey, incorporate healthier foods into your diet. But it's one of those things that will clear up, some questions you may have had and may not get to ask during class if you want to, because we only have that hour. This book, you can take your time and read the explanation for the whole lesson, and it can fill in the gaps of things we may not have been able to discuss in class. Does that make sense, or did I convolute it a little bit?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Good.
So, what are the costs of those two books, and also is the course available for kids?
Well, the cost of the books, I believe it retails, the workbook that you'll need for class retails for, I think, about $20 on Amazon and Barnes and Noble. And the teacher's edition, this one will run you about $30 on Amazon and Barnes and Noble. So when you compare that to the fact, if you pay it that much, at least for a lot of gym memberships, we're not going to even talk about if you join one of those programs where you have to purchase their meals as well as pay a membership fee and all that kind of stuff. You're saving a whole lot of money by buying one or even both of the books if you wanted to, and attending the class, because it's the only cost associated with it. In terms of the kids course, we did launch the Eating as an Act of Worship Ministries Kids Initiative Health and Fitness course. But again, because of the coronavirus pandemic, we haven't had that particular course. We've just gone back to having the one class that we do online, and families can take the class together. Does that make sense?
Yes. So as far as fees, is it a fee to have a conference associated with this?
Um, we haven't, we're actually gonna have, believe it or not, our first speaking engagement on July 16th at New Life Christian Fellowship Church. So this will be the first time since the pandemic that we've gone back out into the community to have live events. But when it comes to, conferences and whatnot, basically we try not to ever be a burden on churches, especially, or nonprofit organizations, because we know that your money is for those organizations should be used as much as possible to benefit the work of the ministry, the people who are in need. So since a book is necessary for the class, what we normally do is, on the front end, ask that you register a certain amount of people so that they can purchase their books in advance from me. And then that covers not only getting them what they need, but it'll more than likely cover getting me there and getting me back. Now we do have different things that we do. We can do a conference, or we can just do a workshop. A lot of times we do a 1-day workshop. If you want a weekend conference, that's doable too. That's just depends on what you and your organization, your church, whatever the case is looking for.
Okay. So, are there other choices besides taking a 12-week course if somebody can't dedicate 12 weeks to doing a course consistently?
Yeah, there are. If you can't come to class, when we're having it live, the good thing about it is, Zoom allows you to press record and record it, and we can later on share it with you if you miss a class or whatnot. Otherwise, what you can do is what we have a lot of people doing, and that is everybody who wants to participate getting a workbook, and then whether you're doing it by yourself or you're going to be a facilitator or get a facilitator. The other person who's going to teach the class, lead the class, gets the teacher's edition. And then you can have the classes yourself in your own communities. One of the people who graduated from class, I was so proud of her because I was thinking of her to be a teacher for us had we been able to continue at that point with live classes. But she had a Zoom class online with some people who asked her, they were asking questions about the class. She told them, and she just volunteered to be their teacher. And we have, people doing that with their book clubs, and not to mention people doing it individually. So you can do this as a family in your own home. You can do this, by yourself. You can do it, on your lunch break with people you work with, however you want to. All you need to do is get those materials.
Okay. So when does the course begin for adults and when does it begin for kids? Is it different start dates or is it the same?
When we are having classes for kids, they do have different start dates. Right now, since we're just doing it strictly online, we encourage families to take it together when we have it on Monday nights. But with the kids course, when we do it in person, and it's a little different because they meet with us twice per week. Their lessons are slightly different because, of course, we want to make sure they learn on their level. And we also have a personal trainer who volunteers to work out with them for free twice a week in those classes. So it's not like a Zumba class or, some other type of workout. They basically are doing what they should be doing. And that's being kids having fun. But, it's a personal trainer that's kind of structuring it for them so that they get the workouts that they need. And I'll be glad when we can offer that again because, it was a blessing, when you have kids coming in and it's a whole family and just about everybody in the family has diabetes or something like that, and you're able to work with the family and teach the kids what they need to do, teach the parents what they need to do, and then give everybody a workout. You know what I'm saying? It's awesome to see the changes in the individuals as well as the family unit. So we're not doing that now, but we do want everybody who does have kids, if you will take the course together that we offer on Monday nights via Zoom, that will be a blessing to your whole family.
Also, another while you was talking, I was thinking also another benefit to that too. I always stress on, when I was a kid, we had more stuff to do in the community to keep kids from being so idle or being on the street. So that could be another thing to keep a kid's time occupied so they don't get into other things.
Right. And we give parents ideas for what they can do because it's one thing, for the kids to come to a class and we teach them something. But children don't have jobs because we got labor laws over here. They don't in general prepare their own food, cooking and all that type of stuff. They're not the ones going to the grocery store doing the grocery shopping. So it's imperative that the parents take the class with the kids. So even if, you were an adult who wanted to take the adults class, if your kid was going to take class, you were still going to be in class with them too. So you just be in class 3 times a week instead of the one time. And then while they're there, they get to hear what we're teaching their kids because they need to know what we're teaching them, but they also need to be the leaders of their families because kids, you can tell them one thing, but they'll often do another. My dad smoked. And he would tell me not to smoke. And it wasn't until I snuck a cigarette and nearly choked to death that I realized, okay, I don't need to smoke, because it's you do it, so why are you doing it if it's so bad type of situation. So the parents need to understand that you need to first be obedient to God's will about how to take care of your body and then lead your children in the way that they should go about how to take care of their bodies. And it's amazing when they do it together what they find. And throughout the course, we don't just teach them that particular principle. We teach them other stuff, practical stuff. Like, you really want to make sure that they're eating their vegetables, then let's do what people used to do. Let's sit down at the dinner table and eat together. It's a lot harder, to throw away your vegetables behind mama's back when she's sitting there looking at you and saying, by the time I finish my food, you better be finished with those vegetables. You know what I'm saying? And it's the same thing with exercising. How is it that you as a parent, can walk your dog, but your kids that have been playing video games all day don't go outside and walk with you? As a parent, I know the eye rolls, I know the huffs and the puffs, but guess what? It still gets done because that's a part of being a parent, preparing the meals, choosing what you buy. And it's a tough love thing, because parents have to be told stuff they don't want to hear. One of our very first classes, one of the moms, one of the strategies we were giving, and then that we still give, is that don't try to necessarily force your kids, to eat something all willy-nilly that they never tried before. Let's start with easy, simple vegetables that they may be familiar with. Get them in the habit of eating those. Like, you might have carrots this week. Carrots tonight, peas tomorrow, something simple that they're used to. And then, at least once a week, introduce a new vegetable that they've never tried before to see how they like it. And everything that we recommended, oh, I don't like those. She won't eat that. No, I don't like that. I'm like, okay, I hate to say it, but you're the issue. You're already saying to yourself and out loud so she can hear it that that's nasty. I'm not going to eat that. And so she's going to say, what? That's nasty. I'm not going to eat that. You're going to have to be the one to step up and eat something that's good for you, and then lead her to do the same thing. It was tough. The parents sometimes get upset, but you have to tell them things like that. Another parent, as a matter of fact, she was somebody interviewing me. She's like, I just can't get my son to stop eating salt. Yes, you can. Stop buying salt. I do not buy salt, period. So if you are going to get salt, you will sneak in contraband so that I do not see it and use it. You know what I'm saying? So if I'm the one with the money, if I'm the one making the purchases, it's going to be really hard for you to get what you want to eat without my permission. And it's one of the difficult parts of parenting for a lot of people, because they complain, well, they won't eat that. Okay, then you don't have to eat, go to bed. Go do your homework, go do something like that. I guarantee you, when they get hungry, they'll eat. It's just survival 101. People who are hungry eat, period.
Absolutely. So as far as the rest of 2023 and beginning of 2024, what's some upcoming events do you guys got coming?
Well, again, on July 16th, we'll be here in Little Rock at New Life Christian Fellowship Church. I'll be delivering the morning message, and we'll be having a recruitment day at that particular time. And on August 21st, you can be ready, because that's the first day of the Eating as an Act of Worship Ministries Health and Fitness course. So you need to go online now, because we're doing it on Zoom. And as you know, Zoom will cap the number of people that can attend. So you need to go online now to www.eatingasanactiveworshipministries.org. I know it's long, so I'm just going to show you the title of the book. See, Eating as an Act of Worship. Yeah, add ministries at the end of that .org, and you will be at the website. Go to the registration tab, sign up for the class. We've had both men and women, and usually it's funny, the men who take the class come after their wives or girlfriends have taken it, and they're like, you're gonna take this class too. And then they force them to get healthy. But it's an excellent class for both men and women and children. We encourage families to do it together, but if nobody will go with you, the Holy Spirit will be there with you. Just go ahead and get signed up today. so that you will secure your spot and then order your book. Don't forget, you can get it from Amazon or Barnes and Noble. If you have any trouble getting it from them, you can always send me an email at annwooten.taylor@gmail.com and purchase it directly from me. I tend to undercut them like by about $5 or so, so you get a discount. But that's ANNWOOT as in Tom, EN as in Nancy, Taylor, TAYLOR @gmail.com.
Okay. And besides the email and the website, do you guys got any other ways of ways you can be contacted as far as social media, anything like that?
Oh yeah, we are on Facebook. As a matter of fact, we have several Facebook pages. We have the Eating as an Act of Worship Ministries page. We have the Eating as an Act of Worship Ministries Health and Fitness page because when the pandemic first started, we tried to do it on Facebook. I like feedback, and Facebook is not very conducive for that when you're doing a live. So we switched to Zoom. But yeah, that page is there. We also have the authors page, Ann Wooten Taylor, author, and you'll see the books there. And then you have the CEO's page, which also is just Ann Wooten Taylor that's connected to Eating as an Act of Worship Ministries. Now that's just Facebook. We are also on Instagram. We're still on Twitter, but right now we've been working at Threads. I don't know about y'all, but I really like Threads. The new thing, the new Twitter, it seems. And we're on Pinterest and as well as LinkedIn. LinkedIn is under my name, Ann Wooten Taylor, but everything else you can look up Eating as an Act of Worship Ministries. Sometimes they won't let me spell it all the way out. No surprise there. So you can check EAW Ministries, and you'll usually find us.
Okay.
Oh yeah, we also have a YouTube page. I forgot about that. And I guess I should tell them about, being able to read the articles too. That's a thing, right? We also have the Eating as an Act of Worship Ministries Health and Fitness column, which appears in a number of publications. Right now, we're publishing in Back to Eden News Magazine, Godlock Magazine, and The Narrative Matters. So you can follow thenarrativematters.com. You can look up Godlock Magazine and Back to Eden News Magazine and order subscriptions for those publications in order to follow our column. It'll be written by me, Ann Wooten Taylor. And of course, you know about the radio shows, which you can listen to live on Saturdays at 11 o'clock a.m. on Studio W Buzz. As a matter of fact, Eric was a guest on the show recently because he and I collaborated on another book together. Have you been telling them about that book, Eric?
No.
This is the book we collaborated on together, From Stuck to Limitless. His story is awesome. And so just to, hear him talk about it with the listeners of our show was a blessing. So if you guys haven't gotten the book, you do need to get it because he's got a lot of wisdom to share as he opens up about himself. When men do that, you really want to pay attention. But yeah, and then the show is syndicated. So if you're in the Little Rock, Arkansas area, you can tune in on Saturdays at 10 o'clock a.m. There are 3 stations owned by Victory here, and that's 100.9 FM, 95.3 FM, and 1530 AM. So either of those stations, you can catch us. Then there's an internet station called the DFW Den Radio Network. It's a Christian station that also our show is syndicated with. They air us twice a day, y'all. Yeah, at noon and 10 o'clock p.m. So you do not want to miss it. And you can also advertise with us for a small donation. That's what one of the ways that helps to keep our class free since we're a nonprofit organization. So if you are interested in, promoting your record, your book, even your podcast, whatever, we are very open to advertising for you. So just send me an email, annwooten.taylor I'm sorry, AnnWootenTaylor@gmail.com. We'll be more than happy to get you the information that you need to get that started. Did I leave out anything else, Eric?
Nah, you think you covered everything. Well, yeah, I appreciate you coming on the show. You know, and anytime you want to come on the show, you hit me up anytime. You know,
Oh, thank
I
you.
record. I record it.
Likewise.
I record the most random times. I don't have set times. I have people hit me up all the time, just randomly. So
Well, thank you. I probably will hit you up then for my sons. I produce their radio show, the Teens Talk Truth radio show. So yeah, I might hit you up for an interview with them before they go back to school.
okay,
Yeah.
just let me know.
All right, man. Looking forward to that. It'll be fun.
Well, yeah. This concludes another episode of Eric J. the Great podcast. Need everybody to tap in with the. I hate that the name is so long. I
Eating as
don't
an
want to
active
leave that the
worship
name.
ministry. I'll say it. Eating as an active worship ministry. And I know it's long, I know, but that's what the Lord said I had to call it. But thank you for having us, and thank you to your listeners. And I'm looking forward to meeting you guys in class on August 21st.
Yeah, everybody tap in with Eating as an Act of Worship Ministries. Go to the website, check out all the dope content. Sign up for the course. It's really a course. Really should be made for everybody. I mean, it's made for everybody just because everybody is slightly obese. You might not want to admit to it, but everybody, it's not the same weight they was when they was in high school. So,
Right.
so it should be, everybody should have an open ear to anything, because everybody should want to shed a couple pounds, you know, whether that be you're doing a lot of running or you just cutting back on your calories or doing a lot of sit-ups or whatever. Everybody has their own route of how they go about, you know, shedding weight or getting to their own personal fitness goals. So
Mhm. And just so you remember, is eating as an active worship ministries.org. That's the website you go to register. And you're right, it's for everybody, including you, Eric, if you want to be there, be an example for the people.
yeah, I took a break from fitness when I got out the military. I was telling people all the time, I'm like, hey, it's a totally different beast when you forced to work out.
Yes, it is.
I was like, I had to take a break from that. Yeah,
Don't blame me.
getting up every day, working up for an hour and a half, mandatory. Like, yeah, that take a toll on you.
I had a friend who's in the military. He was mad because he would have to go in for drills, and he was like, "They got me out there running." I'm like, "Well, what did you think?"
Yeah, it'd be the most random stuff. I remember being out 5-degree weather, got booty shorts on, running 4-5 miles. And I'm like, man, this is the dumbest thing ever. I feel so dumb.
Your heart thanks you for it.
All right, this concludes the show, and I hope you have a good rest of your night.
Thank you. You too, and I appreciate this. God bless you.
All right, no problem.
All right, bye.